Croeso. I didn't remember to put on my post that I was live on my page, so hopefully people will find me, but I will repost to YouTube so that people can find all of my practices there. Good morning, Borada, Croeso. Happy Sunday. I know it's a bit wet here in South Wales, don't know what it's like with you, but we will practice our guided meditation, and we will also have a nice guided relaxation. And even though Borada, Croeso, welcome, even though maybe some of you have had a lie-in, not long been out of bed, this will be a guided meditation that will take you, if you let go, into deep relaxation but not sleep. So it can be very restorative, it can replenish, it can help you let go of burden, help you calm your mind, your nervous system. So you can just take from it whatever you need, which is what we do with yoga anyway. In lots of times we have different needs, so we have to adapt our practice. I wasn't live last week because I wasn't feeling too good following my treatment, but the benefits of the treatment were worth the sore arm because I have so much more energy this week, which I need because there are lots of things going on in life, as always. And it's been a couple of weeks of challenges with friends and family and people I may not even have met in real life, but have been teaching for many years, and I have benefited from their teaching, so I have a fondness and respect for these people. Family members, obviously, they are close, and friends are also close. So these different challenges have really been quite hard, but also bring me back to my practice, where I learn that change is the only constant that we have and we can really rely on in life is change. We are always in transition. The whole world is always in flux. Nature is always in flux. And no matter what as humans are doing, what nonsense we are doing, whatever is happening in the crazy manic systems that we live in at the moment, change is inevitable. So we can deny that, we can get angry about it, we can fear it, it can make us anxious. Uncertainty sometimes can make us feel anxious because we don't feel grounded, we have no control. But maybe what we don't always accept and realize is that we have no control anyway. Today I'm coming, I haven't actually prepared a particular speech or satsang or meditation. There's a couple of things I want to share, but part of that is because I'm going to go with my heart and my feelings today, and I think that sometimes that's necessary, and I also think that we have to become familiar and comfortable with the unknown, because we know so little. We think we know ourselves. We may well know that we are male or female in this physical form, in this earthbound form. We may know that we are a mother or not a mother, or a daughter or a sister, or a nurse, or a doctor, or a yoga teacher. We may think we know our health, we might know our children, we might think we know our friends. But these things that we know are on a very gross level. If we asked each other, or even asked ourselves, who am I? Do I know what I am beneath all of those layers? In yoga, we say the 5 layers, pancha kosha, all the different types of being that we are. Do we even go beyond the body and the mind? And this can cause us to fear and panic and be anxious. I think particularly in our culture in the West, we don't feel comfortable with loss. We do not feel comfortable and at ease with the prospect of dying. And I'm not saying we should, not go into that night fighting, but we know that it's the one guarantee in life that nobody's coming out of here alive. And because we are so attached to our everyday physical bodies, our everyday physical life, nobody wants to leave loved ones. I'm not suggesting they do. But we come attached to that form identity, and it becomes incredibly difficult to let go. And ultimately, we suffer when we don't let go. And this is not just about death of a human mortal life. It could be a job, it could be a relationship, which is incredibly difficult, as I know. It could be, letting go of things that you would normally do because we're in a situation of pandemic globally. We can't always access the things that keep us healthy, that keep us safe. But there are so many different ways to do what we normally do. And accepting that is a big part of healing and letting go of loss, letting go of trauma, even letting go of physical pain if we are suffering with illness or bad health. That's not to say we don't acknowledge it. It's not to say we become detached as opposed to attached. But Dr. Ananda yesterday in his Saturday satsang was talking about non-attachment. So we can love and care, and we can still become non-attached. It can be a difficult concept, but as we move through our lives, we are always losing things or being faced with challenges and difficulties and maybe burden and frustrations and problems and hurdles. And the only way we can grow and evolve and develop as human beings, not human doings, we do, but how often do we just be? Through change and through some level of adversity, we find the resources, whether they're external or internal, and the resilience. And he mentioned this as well, to go on with the show. Now, even before he mentioned it, that's a big thing in my family, to go on with the show. And sometimes that can be used to suppress and repress feelings and to diminish or undermine somebody's pain. I don't mean it in that way. But we do have to go on with the show on many levels. We have to turn up for life. We have to turn up for our loved ones. We have to allow ourselves to let go of anger and pain and blame and shame and guilt in order to achieve a spaciousness that is always there beneath all of that clutter. And because we are human, we will accumulate the clutter, not just in our homes. We know lots of people who accumulate clutter. I'm not one, thank God. I do try and keep things uncluttered in my life. But emotional clutter, a burden, trauma, and we may not even know that it exists. So it can be a real internal revolution to start letting go of this stuff, to start shedding the burden, and to allow yourself to become quiet and still in that space that lies beneath the mental clutter, the emotional clutter, could even be physical clutter. You know, you identify so much with your illness or your size, your weight, how pretty you are, how ugly you think you are, what other people think of you. What does it matter in the great scheme of things? It really is not making anybody feel any happier or better. So moving through that, moving through loss, moving through grief, achieving a sense of stillness and peace, a sense of awareness, a sense of deep consciousness, oneness, that is there when we're off too busy worrying about other things. We just need to remind ourselves it's there and that we can step back into it at any time. Not that you don't feel your pain, not that you don't feel your grief, not that you don't acknowledge loss and send blessings and love to those who are going through loss or going through pain and suffering at the moment. We will meditate now. I offer my meditation in honor of the wonderful teacher, guru, wonderful magical light, Amaji, in the Gitananda ashram in Pondicherry, who is suffering some ill health at the moment. Yogacharya Meenakshi, she is the beloved of Swami Gitananda. Swami Gitananda, who left his body in the 80s and is just a wonderful, wonderful teacher that gave us the Gitananda tradition, in which I study and study more and more and come back to more and more, really evolving in that practice. I also offer up to a friend that is coming to the end of life, a lovely person, and also to my mother's sister who passed recently. I am lighting a candle just to guide the light, to help people on their way, but the candle can also be a wonderful thing to gaze upon, to help you come into a beautiful place of stillness. So you may want to get a candle. I'm going to give a couple of minutes for that before we start. You may want to keep your eyes open in meditation, or you may want to close them. Completely up to you. The theme is going to be about letting go, moving through loss, finding the courage to change, because it's all very well saying change is a constant. Excuse me. But it takes courage. It takes courage. And it takes a certain amount of determination, because we can become overwhelmed by our burdens, by our pain, by our grief. And it takes time to move through that, and you have to honor that time, allow it to happen. And basically we are wanting to connect with Source. People have different faiths, different religions. I'm not going to preach one way or the other about the validity or the importance of those. They are important to individuals, and thankfully they exist and they help people to live life and also to face death. I'm going to talk about going back to the source, this thing that's inside us, this stillness beyond the body, beyond the mind, beyond the emotions, beyond the identity, beyond the activity, which we can always link with the source. You may want to think of it as nature, the divine, pure consciousness, the universe, the cosmos. This is where we're all headed in one way or another. Whatever your ideology is, whatever your belief is, we are all going to go back to source. So, sitting up, please forgive me, I just got a tickle in my throat more than anything. You can sit up on a chair, you can sit up on a meditation stool, cushion, cross-legged, up on your knees, as long as you have a body that is awake and alert. It needs to be relaxed, but the spine is long and strong. The shoulders are sliding down. The neck is long. The sternum may be slightly lifted, but the ribs are not poking out. The lower body, whether it's the knees on the floor or the sits bones, are really pressing into the floor, giving you a beautiful firm base, so you are nice and sturdy, rising up with the spine without rigidity. Nice broad collarbones, nice soft chest, nice even smooth breath. Please close your eyes. Gently, don't cling to the skin around the eyes. Allow the temples to be smooth. Allow the jaw to be slack. And just sit in stillness and in silence. Maybe you are noticing your breath. There's no particular count, there's no particular rhythm. Just your lovely normal breath coming in and out of the nostrils, bringing a sense of smooth, calm inhalation and exhalation. It's very important that you sit in a meditation posture that is comfortable for you, because particularly if you're new to meditation, if you're not comfortable, you will not be able to sit in stillness and quietness. Thinking of the spine rising up energetically. So with your inhalation, there's a gradual uplift so that the crown is coming towards the ceiling. And as you exhale, there's no sinking, but there might be a little softening. So you don't sink down, but you might soften and release tension. So inhale, you lengthen the spine, you broaden the collarbones, the crown is rising up. We're always looking to rise up to higher mind, higher consciousness in yoga. And as you exhale, you notice that you are rooted in the earth, you're grounded, but you release any tension into the earth. Let the earth accept it willingly. No holding on to fear or worry. One more time, breathing in. Slight extension of the spine energetically. And breathing out, a softening, a relinquishing of the burden on your shoulders, of the burden on your back. Just sit like this for a few moments. Hands can be gently rested on the knees. I just want you, with your mind's eye, eyes are gently closed, to look inside and notice how you feel. Just take a look inside your own mind, your own body, and just witness how you are. Maybe you're a little tired, maybe you slept well, maybe you didn't sleep so well. Just noticing, it doesn't have to be good or right, it's just different to everybody else. Quality of the breath is smooth and even. Quality of the body is strong base, long spine, soft front. Soften the place around your heart. Soften the place around the belly where you can feel sometimes some anxiety, some fear, some uncertainty. Soften it. During this practice, if the tears come, let them flow. Don't hold back. Breathing in, lengthen the spine. Breathing out, consciously softening the shoulder blades so they slide comfortably down the back. You're just using this with your mind's focus. No need to shrug shoulders, no need to do anything of the sort. Soft front, strong back. Letting the burden slide from your shoulders, all the way down the arms, all the way down through the hands, the fingertips onto the floor. Don't hold on to the burden. Come inside your mind, come inside your body. Notice where you are sitting in your mind's eye. So with your senses withdrawn, notice where you are sitting. Notice how your posture looks on the mat or on the chair or on the cushion, or could even be on the bed. Notice with your mind's eye the space around you. Awareness and focus on the space around you without opening the eyes. The room that you are familiar with. How you fit in. Where are you? What space are you occupying? Strong back, soft front. Smooth and even breath in and out of the nostrils. Crown reaching skyward, base grounded in Mother Earth, as strong as a mountain, but not rigid, not hard, soft heart. Ribs are rising, expanding outside and back. Face is smooth, a bit like silk or marble. No creases, no tension, no squinting, no screwing up of the face. Noticing how the face feels, the sensations. Notice if the jaw is being held tightly. Loosen the jaw by dropping the bottom lip. You can open the mouth slightly. Tongue is relaxed. Neck is long. Chin is on the similar plane to the back of the skull. You're not tilting it up and you're not tilting it down. Shoulders are softly dropping down. Lungs and ribs are expanding and contracting as they will. And notice if there's any tightness around the heart. Just notice if there's any tightness around the heart. With every inhale, allow the heart to expand and take up space. With every exhale, allow the heart just to melt and relax. This is just done with focus from your mind. So notice if there's tightness, bring space by breathing in. Breathing out, release any tightness, any pain, any tension that's around your heart, because sometimes we hold the heart so tight, particularly when we are fearful of loss. When we're fear of losing someone, whether it's a relationship or whether it's somebody that is slipping away from us into the source, we try and constrict and hold the heart. It becomes painful and tense and tight because we are in fear of feeling the loss. So just help your heart along by just shining some light into it and letting it expand. With the inhalation, you create space. With the exhalation, you just release the tension and the tightness so you can breathe. Same with the lungs. Breathing in, even if you can't access all three lobes, let's just see if we can breathe in fully to the lungs. Noticing how that feels. Also when we exhale, letting the lungs fully empty. A few more breaths, focusing on the lungs. Let the ribs expand and let the lungs fill up to their full capacity. And as you exhale, draw the belly back slightly as you empty the lungs completely. Now take the attention to the belly, maybe the solar plexus, just the space above the belly button. If it feels good, you can place the left hand on that area and the right hand over the heart area. Hands on the heart are really connected, so feeling. And what do we do when somebody feels sad or ill or has a pain? We touch them with the hands. We send our warmth and our love and our energy through to them to help them heal and to stop being upset. Maybe we hold them. So holding your own heart with your right hand and your belly, just breathing in some space and love. And breathing out, just release the tension, release any anxiety, you release any confusion or any control about wanting to know what happens next. Because we have no idea what happens next. A few more breaths like that, bringing in the warmth, the comfort, the energy into your own heart, your own solar plexus with your hands. You can replace the hands onto the thighs. Now change your posture if you need to, quietly, with as little disruption as possible. Maybe you change the crossing of your legs or you readjust your seat. Come back into the body with your mind and notice the wonderful aliveness in your body. Strong back, soft front. We were born to fly the flag. We were born to carry on. During this short time that we have on the stage of the world, we can encounter so much joy, so much love. So bring in the sense of your mind, your inner vision, your inner eye, your third eye. Bring it into the body and notice. How do you even know that you are conscious? Without relying on the clutter of the mind. How do you know that you are conscious and alive in this moment, in this spot? What do you feel in your body? Yes, you are still. Yes, you are quiet. But what do you notice? Can you notice your aliveness? Can can you notice it with the sensations in the body, maybe in the fingers, the hands, the feet, the knees. If there's discomfort, you must move and make yourself comfortable. Don't suffer. No need. Notice the aliveness up in your spine, as your spine energetically rises up every time I remind you. Straight, strong back. What happens? Or when I remind you, soft, open front, what do you witness? Moving from moment to moment. We are trying to step into every single moment with presence and awareness. So we are aware of how the sensations in the body, how they feel, without guessing, without overriding them, without ignoring them. Strong back, soft front. Bring your attention now to your eyes. Behind your eyes. Eyes are closed. Bring the attention behind the eyes. Notice what's going on there. I'm not inviting you to imagine, to search for something unusual or wonderful or profound. I just want you with your third eye, your internal vision, your insight, to look behind your eyes. Maybe it's dark and velvety. Maybe it's not. But just bring your focus behind your eyes. And try and feel the softness and peace that exists behind your eyes. Without the tension around the bones of the eye sockets, without the tension of a pulsating temple, without gripping the eyelids, which are like silk, they're so fine. Without protruding the eyeballs forward, always looking, what's next, what's next, what's next? What now, what can I watch, what's next? Dropping what's next. Dropping the urge to know, to see, to understand, to control. Just noticing behind the eyes what exists. Also the ears. We're not searching for external stimulation, to hear this, to hear that, constant stimulation. What's behind the ears? Enter into that space. Notice when you enter into the space, the sensations, maybe they occur, maybe they don't. The colors, maybe they occur, maybe they don't. Maybe a feeling of more space, maybe not. Behind the center of speech, behind the throat now. Behind the throat and the mouth. When we talk some nonsense sometimes, just always fill in the gap. dropping the need to fill the gap. Communicating consciously with a sense of awareness, except not just always complaining or criticizing or judging, whether it's other people, situations, or whether it's yourself. Always commenting, taking things personally, allowing the ego to develop your speech as opposed to your true nature, your true form of identity, which is not the form, which lies beyond, beneath the form. Speaking from that place. Not being controlled by the ego, identity, and the mind. What lies behind the center of speech? Now bring the focus to the whole skull, the back of the skull, strong and smooth. All of the cavities in the face, the teeth, the flesh, the skin is smooth, the scalp is smooth, can move easily, the hair. Now bring the inner eye, the insight, the inner wisdom into the brain. And try and locate the very center of your own brain. Notice the sensations when you do this. And place there a tiny speck of light. A bit like a star on a moonlit night. It's not completely dark in your brain. It's being lit by a tiny, tiny star. Bringing you clarity and a sense of comfort and a sense of space. Because loss and anxiety and pain and grief, all of those things we experience as humans, they are just normal human experiences, but they can be exhausting if you don't let them go. Over time we learn to let go. Allowing the light in your own brain to shine more brightly. Your inner eye is looking at the light as it shines more brightly, guiding us to the light, guiding us to the source, filling the whole head with light and space and clarity and comfort and compassion, making us feel lighter in the body, making the body feel lighter as we rise up towards higher consciousness. Filling the whole body now, the heart, the whole of the lungs, the whole of the cavity, the shoulders, the arms, the hands, the fingers, all the way down the spine, the whole of the pelvic area, all of the hips, the buttocks, the thighs, the knees, the calves, the ankles, the feet, filling with a beautiful light. White, white starlight, making the body feel light, making the heart feel open and soft, just take a few breaths into that beautiful, dazzling starlight. Cooling energy, yin energy, feminine energy, energy of the evening, the moon, starlight. Let it fill you up, giving you some soothing, healing energy. And allow the visualization practice to softly fade. And bring a sense of awareness now to the body, preparing to move. Not moving quickly, not taking a deep breath. We're not doing that. We're just sitting quietly, preparing the mind and the body to move. Blink your eyes gently open. And just come into the space, adjust to the light. Maybe you bring your hands together and we're going to rub them and get some really nice warm energy into the hands. Rub them together, creating some nice warm energy, and just give your head a little squeeze. Maybe you just want to squeeze the skull at the back. Give it a little rub around your ears, your earlobes, maybe the face. Just taking in some warmth from your own energetic body, and rub again. And just a nice squeeze. It can be just nice to give yourself a squeeze down the arms, along the shoulders. If you've got somebody nice around, maybe later you can have a massage. All the way down. And we can stretch out our legs. Just to get the blood back into them. I'm stretching mine out in front of me. Oops, sorry, I moved the camera a little bit. There you go. So stretching them out, maybe you can point and flex your toes, or just rotate the ankles. Just gonna move the camera back a little. And just bounce the legs out, just so that you get, sorry. Just so that you get a little bit of blood back into the legs if you've been sitting cross-legged. And I'd like you to take up Shavasana, please, unless you want to stay on your chair. If getting to the floor is too difficult for you. Shavasana is corpse pose. I'm just going to do a quick guided relaxation for you. So lying down, flat on the floor, arms alongside the body, legs stretch out in front, but legs rolling away from each other a little, yeah. Arms gently alongside the body, shoulders on the floor. You can have a pillow for the head, or if you need one for your lower back, or if you need to have your knees bent over something. All of this is good. All of this is good. So, I just want you to initially feel the weight of the bones on the floor. The weight of the bones on the floor. So, the shoulders are heavy, arms alongside the body, palms are facing up, but there's no posturing. You're allowing the arms to relax. Arms are rolling away from the body, palms facing up, but the fingers are curled in relaxation, no tension. Spine is long along the floor. Pelvic girdle is heavy, making contact with the floor so that the buttocks can spread. Thigh bones feel heavy as they sink through the flesh of the thighs. Backs of the knees, calves making contact with the floor. heels are heavy. The whole body being supported and held by the earth. The whole body being supported and held by the earth. Feel free to roll the head from side to side until it actually lands dead center and supports your skull in the best possible way. Close your eyes. And allow the skin on the face to feel smooth and pliable, so you don't feel like it's feeling tightly pulled across the skull. Lips are gently parted, eyes are gently closed, brow is smooth, forehead is smooth. Allow the jaw to feel as slack as can be. Teeth are not gripping together or grinding, and the tongue has as much room as it needs. And it can be parked against the teeth, but not pushed. I want you to feel as though you are getting heavier and heavier. So as you breathe in, feel that the whole body is filling with space. The whole body is filling with space. More room than you need. Lots and lots of space. And as you exhale, I want you to feel that the body is sinking further down towards the earth. So you're letting go. You're not holding on. You're not clinging. You're allowing yourself, mind, body, spirit, to sink down into the arms of the earth. Every exhalation you sink down and release. Every inhalation you create space. Exhalation you release, relinquish and sink down and let go. Let the earth hold you. She won't drop you. And every inhalation, your whole body, your mind, your breath fills with space that you can actually notice. Carry on with this practice a few times. The breath doesn't have to be held in a particular rhythm. Just the visualization of creating space and letting go. I'm just going to read through some elements as you're lying in your Shavasana, in your guided relaxation. Some helpful phrases that can help us find the inner resilience and resources we need to help navigate us through difficult times. May I find the inner resources to be open to my pain or loss or suffering. May I turn towards others with kindness and love and understanding. May I observe my own pain and suffering and uncertainty with equanimity. May I realize that this moment is not permanent. May I let go of my expectations about the known or unknown. So may I be comfortable with not knowing. May I be comfortable with not knowing. Continue to inhale space throughout your system and exhale and relinquish control and let go into the earth. May I know that I am not this body. I am not this pain. I am not this loss. I am not this illness. I am not this anxiety. I am more than I identify with. I am pure awareness. I am at one with Source. May I accept what is, knowing that it is not personal to me, knowing that it doesn't make me right or wrong. May I accept what is, knowing that my heart is not limited by this. I'm going to leave you for a few minutes just to enjoy your relaxation time. If you want to continue with the visualization inside that you are breathing in space and you are relinquishing control and letting go, that's fine. I give you about 3 minutes. Wherever you are in your breath cycle, with the next inhalation, maybe you can draw your knees as close as possible to the chest. Don't worry if it doesn't come far, because we have not practiced physical asana today, so you might be a little stiff. Just give yourself a hug and maybe rock from side to side to ease the back if you find sitting in meditation challenging. When you're ready, roll over onto one side for a few minutes, or a few moments actually, and come to a seated posture. However you like, you can keep your eyes closed. Please maintain your equilibrium and the quiet, still energy, which I hope will help you through your day. And sit up for me just to read a final affirmation before we close the practice together. So there's one thing I have learned. I am a big fan of a lady called Melody Beattie, who writes daily meditations on codependency. I'm not going to give you a lecture on codependency. It can be quite complex to explain. But as an adult child of alcoholism, that means I grew up with alcoholism in the family, I attended a 12-step program called Al-Anon. There's also one called Codependence Anonymous, which I'm very fond of. And the 12 steps are very aligned with Patanjali's sutras, so they're a really good blueprint for life. And this is one of her affirmations for today, and it's so fitting. Being gentle with ourselves during times of grief. The process of adapting to change and loss takes energy. Grief is draining, sometimes exhausting. Some people need to cocoon for transformation while going through grief. We may feel more tired than usual. Our ability to function well in other areas of life may well be reduced temporarily. We may want to hide out in the safety of our bedrooms. Grief is heavy. It can wear us down. It's okay to be gentle with ourselves when we're going through grief and change. Yes, we want to maintain disciplines of life, living and recovery, but we can be also compassionate with ourselves. We do not have to expect more from ourselves than we can deliver during this time. We do not even have to expect as much from ourselves as we would normally and reasonably expect. We may need more rest, more sleep, more comfort, more practice in terms of yoga. We may be more needy and have less to give, and that's okay. To accept it, our changed needs during times of grief, or stress, or uncertainty, or indeed pandemic, because this applies to everything. It's okay to allow ourselves to cocoon occasionally during times of transformation. We can surrender, and this is the line I like best. We can surrender to the process and trust that a new, exciting energy is being created within us. Before long, we will definitely take wings and fly. So God, divine, source, universe, help me accept my changed needs, particularly during times of grief and uncertainty, change and loss. So I hope you, I don't know if enjoyed is the right word, but I always enjoy meditation. Maybe there's a bit more of a somber undertone to my work today, but that's part of life. Death is part of life, change is part of life, loss is part of life. And if there's anyone out there that has a friend or loved one that might benefit from these meditations that I do in the practices, then please let them know, and hopefully they can access them online. One good thing that's come from COVID for me, and I don't applaud COVID on any level, is that I am able to, I keep moving my mat, I'm able to study with Dr. Ananda Balayogi Bhavanani in Pondicherry now for the last 51 years. This would have been the 52nd year. They train teachers, yoga teachers, over 6 months. You live in the ashram for 6 months, so it's quite a commitment. And I had planned to go either this year or next year, and COVID has put the kibosh on that a little bit. But what's been wonderful because of technology, and it can be a good force for good, is that the 52nd cohort is happening at this moment under the step-by-step training. So I'm so lucky. I'm doing yoga therapy, and I'm also every week training. I'm going to be training on the step-by-step course. So I'm grateful and give thanks for that. So I will be bringing those practices to you. So it's going to be a year of study for me, and I will do my best to bring those practices to you in whatever way. So thank you. Namaste. Thank you. Have a wonderful day, and I hope to see you if you're coming back to my practices online, or sometimes I do live practices online, and I also teach at one studio in Cardiff, Seren Yoga. So see you wherever, and be safe, be well. Thank you very much. Bye bye.